true, right?
Very well said, very well said.
Okay, good. Yeah, don't get mad at the guy who's making $50,000, $60,000 after 40 years working at the auto factory or repairing phones. The person you need to get mad at is much higher up, okay? All right, and of course this is a topic all on its own about Medicare for All, and I think a lot of us here know all the moral arguments for universal health care. But I'm just going to give you the business argument that it's actually good for business. First of all, it frees employers, especially small employers, from the drag of skyrocketing health insurance costs. Because how can they compete with other countries where health care is just part, like building roads, so it's not factored in? So does anyone know, out of every American car built, how much of the cost of that car goes to employee health benefits? Any idea?
11%?
Well, it's about $1,500. Does that work out to about 11%? It could be about 11% of the car. It's actually more than the cost of the steel in the car. So think about when then a car company has to compete with somebody making cars in Germany or China where healthcare is, most of it's covered in some sort of universal program, and it's not all taken out where the employer has to cover it. And just think about it logically or intuitively. Why should a business be burdened with providing health care benefits any more than they should be burdened with supplying the roads that get their employees to work? It's like there's not really a conceptual connection between the two. I think in the past, when people like my husband worked for the same company for 40 years, it had some sense to it, but now people are changing jobs every couple of years, and you're losing your health care every time you change jobs, and you're having to scramble to keep it. So, and as an entrepreneur myself, there's a lot of budding entrepreneurs out there that maybe are stuck in some job at Raytheon that may have the next great product, but they can't leave because maybe they have a pre-existing condition and they can't get insurance. So again, if we had an ability where they could buy into Medicare, and I'm saying buy in, it shouldn't be free, it shouldn't be at the price that 65-year-olds get it, but say you figure out the rate sheet of what it would cost for them to buy it and let them buy into it. So, and now, here's the big kahuna, we need to get big money out of politics. Because this is the reason why we can't get any of the other policies done, right? So because this is at the root of all problems, is that our democracy, corporations have a stranglehold on our democracy. So every time we try to come up with any of those other policies or get anything done, what do? They pour all that money into advertising to scare people, to scare low information voters, to vote against their own self-interest, right? So this is what we saw during healthcare, during the elections, because they want to keep the wealth and the system the way it is. So these are some things, if you've gotten involved in this debate at all about stopping corporate personhood, which was that horrible Supreme Court's decision that said corporations should have the same rights as all of us human beings, but they don't have the consequences for bad behavior that we do. So this is a whole complicated issue, but it's at the root of all the problems. So, okay, and finally here are some things, because we wanted to give you an action plan, so we didn't mean to scare you into, I can't do anything, I'm paralyzed. There's a lot of things you can do, and we can do it one by one and by telling other people. So the first thing is that we need to support people who support good policies. And we've given you some examples of good policies here. So there's a fabulous website I kind of fell upon, and I've told everybody about it, and I don't know how many people have heard of votesmart.org. Okay, and what it is, and it's a fairly new site, but it's a one-stop website where you can find out everything about your candidate, all the pending legislation, who voted how, so you can see it right there, and it's really accessible. And they have this really fun 12-point quiz that you can take that will match you on a golf course. As you answer the questions on every issue from immigration to tax policy, and they're real simple questions. And as you answer them, your representative or candidate that's closest to you comes closer to you on the golf course. So, how much better is that as a way of voting, especially if you have a friend that's, say, a low information voter that just doesn't want to spend the time, rather than listening to all the ad wars out there that go on, tell them to go here and just take this quiz and see what comes up. They might be surprised at who is actually a better match for them. So, and I think also what this shows is you don't necessarily have to just look at representatives in your district. You can find your heroes that might be in another state, right? But that speak for these policies or the things that you believe in. And I think what you'll find is, despite all the tired rhetoric that we hear, you hear this one a lot, all politicians are the same, it doesn't matter who you vote for. I mean, you hear that one a lot. And I think what you'll find is that there's actually a lot of champions in Congress. I mean, not for me, it's people like Bernie Sanders or Raul Grijalva or our own Gabby Giffords. You know, you just need to find your own hero, that they're not all the same. And then we just need to elect more of them. On the other hand, I would beware of politicians that claim to hate government and think it's the problem. I mean, think about it. Would you hire a veterinarian that says they hate animals? Would you hire an accountant that says they hate numbers? Okay, so when you put people in charge of government that say they want to drown it in a bathtub, yeah, you know, don't be surprised when they wreck it and it doesn't work for you when you need it. They're telling you what they're going to do. So, okay, and then of course, tell someone else. I mean, we have a copy of this whole presentation. We have fun little handouts of this whole presentation that you can take with you, as long as you promise to tell one other person. You know, was there a graph? Was there a cartoon? Was there something that you go, wow, I didn't know that. I'm going to share this with somebody tomorrow at the water cooler, at breakfast, or something. Or bring them to our next presentation. Okay, this is the one I like to try to do, is starve the big box beast. I refuse to go into Walmart, ever. Okay, you just decide I'm not going there anymore, right? And then just try to support your local businesses.
Where do you go instead?
Well, I do go to Costco, and please don't tell me anything's wrong with Costco, because I don't know what I'll do. Because I hear they at least treat their employees well. And again, you don't have to do anything. Even if you're somebody who goes to Walmart, maybe if you go to Walmart 4 times a month, go to Walmart 2 times a month. See if you can take some of your things and get them, like instead of buying a book at Borders, which I sometimes do, you know, try to go buy the book at Bookman's, where it's recycled and it keeps in the local economy, or go down to 4th Avenue, right? Okay, so, and then it might require changing some of your wants. I tend to not want things very much anymore. I went to Best Buy at Christmas and I was thinking about buying, what was it I was trying to buy, a little tape recorder? I don't know, I got disgusted after I picked up everything and it was made in Korea and made in China. And I just kind of said, you know what, I don't need this. And I think I put on my list or something, gift certificate to Cold Stone Creamery, or getting my, you know, you can get my nails done, or, you know, do things that keeps the money in your local economy and supplies jobs in your economy. Because when you buy something at Walmart or any big box store, the money actually stays in that account until about midnight. Then it gets swept out, right? And it doesn't even stay in a local bank. So again, I say this about recycling too. Don't make the mistake of thinking you have to do it 100% or do everything or it's not worth doing anything. Start small. Just decide, you know, 10% of the things that I've done at Walmart or Target, I'm just going to try something else. Or, you know, like my husband, he loves playing golf. You know, go to Dorado and play golf instead of going to Best Buy and buying another Wii game or another DVD. Just every other time or every 5th time do that. And it'll have an amazing effect. And then, of course, keep informed and get active. And one great way to keep informed is with Leslie's wonderful Tucson Action Calendar. She's made a great one-stop place where you can see everything going on in Tucson, some great must-reads, links to wonderful websites, and then her own blog is terrific. I would check that out, you know, every day. She's got some wonderful entries there. And then just as a general rule about keeping informed, because, I mean, Tea Party people would say that they're informed, but we know that, you know, what they're listening to. Again, it's just a lot of the Flat Earth Society on that station, okay? So the idea is when you're confronted with stories from corporate-owned media or just the stories that are flying around the internet, just ask yourself if it makes logical sense to you. Does it explain or fit with the facts, or is it just more bumper sticker spin designed to hustle we the people? Okay, so in conclusion, you know, I hope that I've equipped you with some basic facts about jobs and some good resources like votesmart.org, you know, to get really good information. And we encourage you to keep questioning the well-funded rhetoric. So always ask for more dots in the argument. I think the new mantra should be, show me the dots, okay? Ask for the specific policy, not the spin. So for example, if somebody says, and you'll hear this when you go home tonight and you turn on CNN or CNBC or anything, you're going to hear this over and over. Everybody knows tax cuts create jobs. I mean, everybody knows this, and then they just go on to the, they don't ever explain it. What will you